Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Ellithorpe at Tustin Longevity Center here in Tustin, California, Southern California. We are missing talent today. He is out of town, and so we are going to do this on our own for this half hour. So I will have you post your questions in the chat, and then I'll read off of that. I don't have any email questions that were given to me, so I'm going to depend on the chat for answering questions. The other thing is, this again is our Wednesday morning, 9:45 to 10:15. Ask the Doctor. We are an integrative, functional, complementary medicine support of 5 healthcare providers here in Tustin. We've been here 20 plus years at this facility. We have massive experience in alternative, functional, complementary care, and with all of our doctors here, Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Merrick, Dr. Kaur, P.A. Patel, and myself, Dr. Ellithorpe, we comprise a support where we're trying to do this through our conversation. So a general question can be asked, not specifics. If it is a specific question, please call the office and talk to the front office or text us at our phone number 714-544-1521. So we're giving you general responses. We are not specifically treating any one individual. We would tell you how we would approach certain things. So let's say, hope everyone had a happy Valentine's Day, and start today with Vanessa. Vanessa says, good morning, Dr. Rita. I would like to know how to take the TLC metabolic formula. Should it be taken before a meal or after? I'm going to say, Vanessa, it really doesn't matter. I have been using this for so many years, decades, that I believe it's so well absorbed, whether it's with food or without food. I take mine personally on an empty stomach every morning. I take 2 of the 4, and in the evening, I will take it probably 2 hours after my dinner. So it's helping my sugar metabolism at night as well. So I have been taking it on an empty stomach, but it doesn't have to be an empty stomach. It is well absorbed. She also goes on and asks, Vanessa says, I have Hashimoto's and going through a flare at the moment. I feel extremely tired and my joints are achy. How much Vasculine should I take? Well, I would recommend a hefty dose, and I would recommend, we believe that Hashimoto's is a autoimmune phenomena that we create ourselves by eating this junk food, this genetically modified food, this glyphosated food, high carb food, and this pollutions and ultrasound damaged foods in your microwave radiated food with electromagnetic energies. This then breaks up the food in inappropriate ways. Also, if you're a blood type A, you don't digest as well as a general rule. And as this food is presented to the gut, it looks different. It looks like invading bacteria, viruses, and fungi. And so your immune system that lines the gut is seeing this damaged food, and it then has an immune response, which is partially an inflammation response. And it's low grade, and you keep on re-eating the same marketed food over and over and over again, and you start getting this inflammatory gut, so that the lining of the gastrointestinal system develops injuries, kind of like eczema lining the gastrointestinal system. Usually after the holidays, all January, February, and March, we're repairing the damage that people have done by eating too many treats and being too liberal with their food exposures, rather than trying to keep it more narrow just on that day of the holiday meal. So I would encourage you to try and do fasting, be on a clear liquid diet, such as chicken broth or beef broth, and use that for a day or two, just clear liquids, and take 5 Vasculine at least twice a day. You could do it 3 times a day, and that'll immediately reduce the inflammation that is generating the Hashimoto's flare, because you're not eating anything. You're taking in the rich mineral salty liquids of the chicken broth and the beef broth. If you have to have some energy glucose, I would take real ginger ale with the sugar in it and mix it like with water to get the fizz out, and then you could have some sustaining glucose energy with it. And that way you could go a day or two without eating, rest your entire gut. You could take your Vasculine, and you should immediately see the reduction in your fatigue and the achiness in your joints. So that's what I would recommend that you do. Okay, Harlow says, God bless Dr. Rita. Okay, thank you. I receive your prayers and your blessings. What can be done for dry eyes and floaters due to aging? Well, you're not going to probably like this, but these floaters represent proteins in your eye, the vitreous humor, the liquid in your eye, that have congealed or oxidized, gotten burnt and sticky. What promotes that? Not drinking enough water every day. What promotes that? A high carb diet makes your body sticky all over. What promotes that? Not getting a good enough sleep at night, eating too late at night, not having enzymes enough at night, and the tiny vasculature, the tiny capillary network of our eyes, yea, the rest of our body diminishes. So I had a floater as I'm approaching 70 in my left eye. A rather large one suddenly emerged. I don't know, it was last year sometime, maybe almost a year ago. Anyway, what I did is I stopped eating for 5 days. And with that, stopping eating for 5 days, I just had water and black coffee. But again, I have trained myself to be able to do this. And then I did more chelation to improve the microcirculation in my body with an IV chelation here. And then I took my Vitalzyme 5 twice a day. I think I maybe went up to even 8 twice a day. And within 2 days, I saw quick diminishment of this. I would say if I look right now, that huge floater in my eye diminished 90%. So I don't have any problems with reading anymore from that huge floater. So it is chelation, fasting, enzymes, good night's sleep, taking the chelation therapy, I think I said that, a low carb diet, the fasting, and that should tremendously help you. And then I did see my optometrist and followed up, and he said my eyes were looking very, very good, especially for my age, no hint of cataract. So I attribute that to all these things, plus my Juice Plus, the antioxidant protection of my Juice Plus is very tremendous. That's what I would do, Harlow. I would do a real serious prolonged fast with chelation therapy. You can have chicken broth if you really need to, but I would really try and do a water fast for as long as you can with lots and lots of enzymes, and try and do a chelation and see if your eyes aren't better within 2 days. Okay, Zach says, any tips for a 22-year-old male with resistant Candida overgrowth? I've had this for 3 years now, and I'm going for a natural approach. Again, Zach, this is when men become men and women become women, and we take responsibility. The absolute cure for Candida is a low-carb diet and fasting. So if you would start to learn to fast, skip breakfast, for instance, and only eat between noon and 6 p.m., stop eating early, don't eat late at night, and make sure that the food that you're eating is very low carb, or become a carnivore for 2 months, 3 months, and then you will absolutely turn this around. And if you can go not just skipping breakfast, but skip lunch too, where you go from dinner one day to dinner the next night, or what we call one meal a day, and along with your activities, your healthy water consumption, your exercise, because I'm able to do my exercise, come to work, do everything I do when I do a 5-day fast. And I know you can do it too. This will absolutely reverse it. And that's without spending money on any supplementation or anything at all. There are many things out there, some of which are helpful, but this is the right way to do it. And that's we've eaten too many carbs, and we have to deny ourselves, embrace that sense of personal responsibility, and do the fasting to turn that around. Have a doctor who can check and see where your fasting insulin is, your triglycerides, your fasting blood sugar, and your hemoglobin A1C. If necessary, they could do a serum Candida, IgG, IgM, and IgA levels, and then you can repeat a test after doing this kind of lifestyle for a month or two, and you can see the nice reduction. There is a stool study that is only done by forward-thinking functional offices like this. It's called the Complete Digestive Stool Analysis, and they look for yeast and yeast fragments in the stool as well. And we totally see it go away in the stool and the antibodies in the serum when people do this X. So that's what you need to do. I pray that you do it. Jay Bear says, hello, last week you mentioned using Triest cream on the face. What is the benefit? Well, Triest is a compounded natural hormone for females to restore their hormones after they go through menopause. I don't use Triest. I'm not really against Triest, but Biest is just using, see, there's 3 hormones. One is estradiol. That's the main one. And it's kind of like in a dimer with estrone. That's the second one, estrone. And then the third one is estriol. When a woman is pregnant, she makes a lot of estriol, so she doesn't have to depend so much on her estradiol, because she doesn't want to make her little girl babies born menstruating, and she doesn't want to feminize her boy babies. So God has the estriol produced more during pregnancy to get the vaginal canal going. And that's Triest, estradiol, estrone, and estriol. Now, what are the ones that really matter? It's estradiol. So I tend to move my patients away from Triest and Biest and just stick with estradiol for management. Now, it's not a harm to use Biest or Triest. I just think you're wasting your money. Having been involved in this for 40 years now, I would say estriol is really never going to make a difference other than vaginally. And the estrone is a dimer of estradiol, so why give it in the first place? Just give estradiol. So I only use estradiol. Now, what's the benefit of that on your face? Well, estradiol helps with collagen and elastin. It helps with the rebarb of holding up your face and holding up your skin, like, when you wave, the queen waves and the skin flaps and stuff. So as we're aging, we're losing our collagen, we're losing our muscle mass and all that kind of stuff. So estradiol is part of the necessary signaling to help you wrinkle less, have less flabby, crepey skin. So I put this on my face all the time to diminish the crow wrinkles and the wrinkles around the face and so forth. And it's been serving me very well and my patients for many, many years. So that's why I do that, Jay Bear. Let's see. LN says, my friend's triglycerides is over 300. What is the best way to lower it? Fasting. Because triglycerides come from eating starch, fruit, sugars, carbohydrates. And if you fast, it will immediately come down because you will burn them up. We release triglycerides from our fat cells when we're fasting, and we burn them for energy. So you're hearing this like a broken record over and over because it's the truth. And the truth is Americans have been propagandized and marketed to reward themselves through food and through sugar, entertaining tastes in the mouth. Everything is about an entertainment every time you eat. And that is so wrong. That is so evil. That is so harmful. So we're entertaining our mouth with all kinds of spices mixed with carby, starchy foods that give us a mixed sugar, salty taste and entertainment every time we eat. And that is stimulating insulin, that is thickening our blood vessels, giving us heart disease, making us fat, and it is promoting growth of tumors. Insulin is the number one growth promoting hormone in the body because of the constant carb, starch, fruit sugar consumption of the American marketed system. So then what happens is when there's more sugar, starch, glucose in the body than you can use, then the body immediately starts making little simple fats. These simple fats are called triglycerides. That's the very first fat that you make out of this excess starch and carb. And this is what blows up your fat cells, makes you fat. And when your fat cells are blowing up, then the blood serum level rises. So this truth is, the actual truth, Ellen, is you must fast. You must eat a low carb diet. I would go carnivore. And if you're a blood type A, to help you digest those proteins, the fish, the chicken, the pork, the crustaceans, and so forth, and shrimp, I would use a digestive enzyme if you go carnivore to help you break up those healthy, wonderful proteins, because we are made of protein and fat. We are not made of carbohydrates. So there are zero nutritional requirements for starches, carbohydrates, and fruit sugars. Zero, zero, zero requirements for sugar, starch, and fruit sugars. We have daily essential requirements for healthy fats and proteins. This is how we're dying, hurting our immune system, hurting our cardiovascular system, creating chronic disease. All right, hopefully that helps you, Ellen. Jay Bear also said, I have many lipomas all over, started in 2003 with the first one. Is there anything to make them disappear entirely? Jay Bear, this is the exact thing I'm talking about. When your fat cells become over-triggered with carbs, and you don't have to be a fat person, obese, some of these cells become hyperactive and just suck up all these triglycerides, and you get these fat cells in your skin that are called lipomas, and you can feel them, these bumps. And so it is the same answer. You must be a low carb person. You to stop growing them, to stop stimulating them, and getting that insulin down. So you need to find a doctor who understands this, who is going to be monitoring your insulin, serum fasting level, your fasting blood sugar, your fasting triglycerides, and your fasting hemoglobin A1C, and a fructosamine level to check out your fruit sugar level. So that's the answer to stopping growing them. Actually, once they're formed, there is no reversing them. I have some people who have gone to their dermatologist, and the more unsightly lipoma fat bumps are removed surgically. But unfortunately, this is caused by our diet. And some people who are genetically prone to have a hyper response to a fat cell increasing in size, it unfortunately shows up like this. So you just have to surgically excise those that are unsightly or bothersome, and be on a low carb diet. All right, Debbie S says, hi, Dr. Rita. How many grams of protein should a 59-year-old, 125-pound person eat per day? Thank you. All right, well, there's all kinds of references on this. In general, if I recall correctly, the woman should have somewhere in the realm of about 50 grams of protein a day, and a male should have about 75 grams of protein. And I know that there's a number per kilogram or per pound. I just don't remember that off the top of my head. But the minimum requirements for a woman is roughly 50 grams per day. I think it would be excellent for her to have 70 and a man to have 100. So this would be an excellent supply of the repair because you have trillions of cells and they all need protein. And you have to make your immune cells out of protein and fats and so forth and minerals. And meat, fish, chicken, beef, all these things are so nutrient dense with minerals and fats and vitamins in them. Actually, there is literally vitamin C in beef and in liver and things like this. So we've actually found it. So everything you need is in the carnivore diet, the omnivore diet. The problem with vegans, vegetarians is they become and have well-known established nutrient deficiencies because of the limitation of a plant-based diet, which I don't support. Okay, let's see. 6 million is here. Hi, 6 million. Good to see you. I'm glad you're checking in on us. Hope you're doing well and taking great care of yourself. Saying hello back at you. And so what we're going to do, I don't see any more questions, is we will have another conversation on Monday, which is next Monday. I don't know the date of it, but I do this Monday night at 6 o'clock in the evening till 7 p.m. Sometimes we go a little bit longer. Share this with your family and with your friends if you find value in this. And please like and subscribe and help share this. That way we get more tools for being able to help people and give a direct access for them to be able to ask their questions. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and say good day and have a blessed weekend. Be safe, be low carb, and don't treat yourself. We don't deserve treats. Try and limit it to true holidays coming up. I think the next one for me will be Resurrection Sunday, Easter Sunday. I'll have a nice meal I'll make with treats on that day. So I will sign off and say God bless. Take care, everyone.